My speech today will be delivered based on the results of European research, and in one of my slides you are going to see, in fact, this a reference to the research as it's currently being conducted related to streaming media. Now, let me also check the time so that I will be time. The situation. Here's the situation currently on the internet. The amount we spend on the internet is approaching, and in many countries it has already surpassed the numbers of hours we spend watching television or consuming more traditional media types such as newspapers and magazines. Now, here are some facts. In fact, now things are getting worse or better. Depending on how you see it. In 2010, YouTube reported that 24 hours of video were uploaded to its servers every minute. Now, according to Cisco report, P2P traffic is expected to double to 7 petabytes per month in the next 4 years. And on the same report, which has been updated and the numbers are growing, it stated that even with this huge growth of P2P traffic, which, by the way, in the United States is responsible for a large portion of the traffic, especially in prime time. The corresponding percentage of the internet traffic will drop from 39% to 17%. The reason, video traffic. So if you can combine P2P and video, and this is not something exotic, there are many solutions that do that. You can understand that by 2014 or for others by 2015, the largest portion of traffic on the internet will be streaming, and most probably P2P streaming. Another idea is personalization. Personalization of the media that is delivered to the consumers based on their personal profiles and also on recommendations, trying to bring into the picture the social networking so that we have a complete platform that is addressed to the user and is harnessing the power of users in order to deliver the content. Now, this slide is a work we've done with some colleagues in order to identify what's going on in Europe in terms of research on Now you see, we have identified these areas: P2P, social networks, real-time media, personalization, interactivity, 3D, multimedia search, metadata. These are all extracted from the books that were open for proposals. And you see, taking into account all these accepted proposals, projects, for one of which I will speak later, you see where we identify with this spider graph the research. You see that there is a lot of research for real-time media personalization. It's slowly moving towards social networks. It has not moved too much towards 3D. Okay, personalization. What is it about? For us, it's these 5 circles around the end user, which try to identify the context in which the user is viewing the content. This being the device capabilities, either you are watching content from your mobile device or your set-top box or your TV. The location, where you are located, is also important for the rights of the media. Your viewing preferences, and we will see some things about this later in the presentation. Your access network capabilities, and slowly but very quickly, social network information comes into the picture. So I'm going to present some slides playing with the words one for all and one for one. So one for all. What do I mean by this? Okay, this is the traditional approach. This is something that comes out of my Director 2012 project, which has as a topic to cover large athletic events, such as the London Olympics, and this is the reason for the 2012. So imagine you're at home watching the Olympics. Now, what's your experience up to now from the broadcasting? You get the video, you get the commentary, you get the statistics delivered to you. Now, imagine that your computer or the platform can identify athletes, situations, context, names that appear on the screen, what is the event, what is the status of the event, and then make some filtering over the content because you're interested in your country's athlete that is weightlifting. So, doing that, taking into account user preferences, and this can be detailed according to the sport that you're watching. For example, we've made some trials with football. You see that I'm interested, I'm greatly interested wherever there's a foul that follows a yellow or a red card. So, personalizing, using your profile to personalize this experience, you're able to be offered the video, but not in a traditional way, enhanced with lots of information. For example, here you see the names of the athletes that are running, or even get recommendations. There may be 5-10 events taking place in parallel. You could be watching one and get a recommendation, get a pop-up window with another event because something has happened that matches your interests. This is the results of a project that has been finished, and I'll be happy to share results with you. There is a recent article in Nightly Multimedia about this project. You can read everything about it. So, the final experience and taking into account state-of-the-art user interface design, where you can not only pause play, but you can also stop, rewind, slow motion. This is real time. This is real time delivery. Even zoom in special areas of the picture. This is important high definition of the delivery. Okay, some use cases. I'm sure you all know, some of you may already own one of these TVs that are connected to the internet. Now, combining these two, internet and streaming media delivery, we are able to give a truly personalized experience. But even with the available infrastructure, even with a plain TV with a set-top box over TVB, we have media content, we have metadata recommendations being delivered on the screen, and then you could use your mobile phone, you could use some computing capabilities if these are integrated in your set-top box, and we have already done this with some commercial set-top box, so that user actions provide feedback to this system. For example, if the user switches a channel, so that we know what he's watching. And then, based on personalization, based on user profile, on what I have described so far, you can deliver these metadata recommendations, what is happening in another event, recommendations for switching channel. And of course, the user can manage dynamically this profile. Further on, this profile could be altered dynamically while the user is watching, and we'll speak about this also later. Another idea is to be able to control this video stream on any TV using your mobile device. And this would be very important, for example, for public screens, so that you could have the stream delivered. Okay, this is a one-way delivery of the stream, but this is bidirectional, so that you have the broadcasting here for everyone, but you personalize it locally, and you have unicast using the local profile stored or managed by the mobile device of the user. So this brings us to the next issue. Can we have groups of users? Up to now, we're speaking about one user. This is how we started one for all. Now, imagine that we could cluster the users. We could create groups of users. For each group, we could have one representative. This could be a virtual user that closely matches, most closely matches the preferences of the rest of us, group A, group B, so that you could deliver focused content or a more personalized experience to this group. Is this of interest? Okay, take into account all these sports bars. Take into account that there is a big football match and fans of one team are gathered in a bar. In Europe, in a Champions League night, there are many matches taking place in Parliament. So they could be watching what's interesting to them. But in another match, a rival team could be played, which is of interest to them. So this group would have a different experience than the group in the neighboring bar. Okay, let's move to all for one. Now, imagine that apart from personalizing the experience based on my own user profile preferences, I now open this idea and use some collective intelligence as this emerges out of social networking. So now media is social. My social profile comes into the picture. And the idea here is to try to provide a personalized experience based on my social profile. Proposal here, and this is from another project named Saracen, which is currently active and will be finishing at the end of next year. Take a content that has already been identified in terms of keywords. Now, you take these keywords and, for example, here we're using the idea, we'll see it later, of word clouds. So it's easy for the user to identify what this movie is. And once the user selects to see something, we take these words and provide this for filtering according to his preferences. The user, of course, can cut or add some words so that each time he may be recommended something differently. So based on the user profile that is available and on the outcome of this process, we create a content matching group. What is this? It's subscribers, other users, friends. The content is characterized by keywords, and you see that after this filtering process, based on the existing subscribers of the service or the friends, if you're using just a simple social network, we end up with a content matching group. Now, this is based on the user profile of people that are available in the service and also in the content. Now, you come into the picture. Your user profile, and again, it's based on keywords that describe your preferences. And again, you have the option of filtering this because you may don't want to have some of your preferences used or displayed. So the part of your user profile is compared against the content matching group, and then a more focused group for the particular media is developed. So this is a group of media friends with which you can watch the movie. What does this mean? You can take their recommendations, you can take their comments, their tagging, when they have watched the video even offline. Or if it's a live transmission, you can communicate with them, exchanging messages, so that you have a truly personalized experience. I spoke about characterization of the film. Okay, we have here an example, for example, it's the film Globecom. Now, there is some information that the producer of the film has provided. It's in green, for example, it's a Western, Sergio Leone, Eastwood, and Cliff and Wallace are main actors. It was produced in Cinecittà, and there is a gunfight. Now, after several rounds of people viewing this content, you may get comments, you may get tagging that lead to another direction. For example, football. Why? Because the profile of the users that like this film also includes the keyword football. So it's most probable that you would enjoy watching this film with people that like football. So this is what I mean. And all these two are combined. Okay, this is the official profile of the film. This is the profile as it comes out during the life of the system. So this is used for filtering. Of course, you can take out some words. Now, as I told you, what I'm talking about is a platform that's been currently under implementation, and these are screenshots from the latest version of the user interface. You may notice that this interface is produced by brand provided in Cyprus, and it's destined for certain coaches. Apart from the standard things that you see on the screen, the video, the playback capabilities, you also see the capability of managing your profiles, managing your social profile, managing the way you say, okay, you see here my profile settings. We're using some word clouds. I like, what do I like? Comedy. It's in big, bold, red letters. I like Bollywood movies. It's in big letters again. And the bigger the letters, I like the doors. The bigger the letters, the more important for my profile this keyword is. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see the films, and you can also see what I have watched, what I have published. I can also publish movies. I can characterize. I can tag. I can comment. I can publish movies from my mobile phone. So this is the interface. Interacting with the movie. This is the movie info profile. You see, this is the movie info profile, and these two are must to provide personalized experience. These are my friends or my media friends in the platform. And of course, this is the playback interface. I told you that this is destined for simple box. Okay, enough with personalization. Can we go one step forward? Use this personalization for expanding the user, for improving the user experience. And here is the proposal again from the STIC project, based on two pillars. The first is P2P delivery. Okay, this is not something new. The second is media that is suitable for that. And this is adaptive media. And this is the multiple description coding scenario. I don't know how familiar you are with multiple description coding, but just in brief, it takes the video and encodes it in several independent layers. The more layers you get, the more quality you have in the video. So the same video, you see it here in three threads, a yellow, a red, and a green, that are distributed over the network to different users, and then all, or as many as we can from these threads converge to a user. So you see, this user has the green and the red in order to get the best available quality. Also, metadata about the stream are transmitted over the network, so that you're using P2P, but you're using media that is adapted to this situation, knows that it will work over a P2P network. And this creates a very robust platform. Here's a scenario of how this could enhance your viewer experience. And okay, there's a lot of information in the picture, but what you should focus on is this one. There may be areas where people have limited access because there are remote areas, or they pay subscriptions that don't allow them to have the full access to the network. They pay lower subscriptions. Through this P2P and through this adaptive media, they can form a parallel overlay network. For example, neighbors will connect their access point, and one of them could have one of the parts that contribute to the video, the other on the other, and exchange them internally, so that they get, I could have 1 megabit connection, but I could be viewing the video with 2 megabits, because I am combining my forces with my neighbor that again has reduced capabilities, but together we have a download rate that, if merged, can give us greater experience, greater potential. This remains to be tested in the next year. This is one of our scenarios in the project that I'm talking about, SARS. And this is the idea of how this will work. This is a full end-to-end platform allowing both publication, uploading, downloading, commenting, exchanging videos. And for this you see that there are trackers, all my trackers, I'll speak about this a bit later. We have a social networking part or external platforms. We have the media contributing part, and of course, the end users. Okay, what's next? I told you that today I'm going to speak to you about state of the art. What about involving ISP providers? I'm sure you all know about this controversy between over-the-top providers and internet service providers, because over-the-top providers make use of the availability of the platform that they have underneath of the ISPs without the need of the ISPs to know it or paying something to the ISPs. Okay, what do they have to gain out of this? I mean, they are losing already from the OTPs work. If we're going to introduce something like that, for example, the previous scenario, it will be even worse. Okay, the answer is already there and proposed for standardization. P4P, proactive network provider participation for P2P. P4P does not replace P2P networks. This is my last bullet. It enhances it. And what is this? It's a method for the ISPs and the P2P software to optimize P2P connections. How? They introduced the idea of eye trackers so that the routers, the part of the network, is aware of the P2P distribution and in fact takes part in that, so that it can even make the use of the network much better for the ISP. Now the ISP knows what's going on and can take advantage of this. It can offer you better services. He's involved in the game. Again, what is next? Question. Recognize this? Anyone?
Siri.
Siri. Okay. I would love to use Siri, but my mobile phone is filming now. So, you ask a question on Siri. You may ask anything. What's the distance from here to Atlanta? Do you know how Siri works? Will connect, it will need an internet connection. It will have to deploy the necessary engine or engines, for example, Wolfram Alpha, if you ask an exotic question, and then provide you with the answer. Now, let's see this from the media and from the network point of view. Siri, with all its computational intelligence, will have to be based in the traditional approach. Connect me with a number where I can find the service, where I can ask to deploy all this intelligence. Yes, what about if Siri could ask the network directly from your device, give me this? Now, this is the next part of my space, and this is the third project, European project that I'm going to be speaking about, convergence. Now, what's the motivation about this? Over-the-top players, Skype, Facebook, have already solutions that allow this, but as I said earlier, and Siri also doing this, they ignore network topology. They ignore the data location. Okay, they do have a context and location awareness, but they ignore the network location of the data. So they cannot aggregate requests and cast. The network is something different. The computing part is different. So there is imbalance of power in favor of the other two players. I spoke about this a bit earlier. So there's a huge of information, creation and injection of terabytes of data without the network operators even knowing it. In fact, they hate it. It's the case of Austria Telekom, where they try to they said that we don't like them, we don't want you. There are several platforms drive internet into press. So how can we do this? I will speed up because I'm to the end of my time. And have power in favor of the center, of the center, and also introduce again the power of the ISPs to help. I will not take into account the problems of phishing, spamming. The previous week, Facebook had again problems with pictures leaking and that. Or, for example, what about if you want a Disney cartoon, you want Cinderella, but instead of Cinderella, something different comes out. Doesn't sound that strange, right? So, how do we do this? Let's introduce awareness. And the idea we propose in this project Convergence is of a content-centric network with a public subscribe service based on a VDI, versatile digital item. So the content-centric network provides users directly with the contents instead of providing all the communication channel. Now it's the evolution as it happened in programming languages, it's now happening on the internet. Now I'm speaking the CV of Babis, and this is something that makes sense for the internet. And this subscribe service model decouples the application endpoints in space and time. A couple more slides. And the advantages for multimedia, discovering the resources, it's much easier to discover. You can use semantic criteria, some discoveries directly with service. So that when you ask for a movie, you are recommended something, but also taking into account the network now, parsing content, and of course, facing the content. And for this, a recent proposal, this is on the slide, casting it on the network. Now, ISPs have the power to actually participate. It's alternative to the P4P I mentioned earlier. So, for example, imagine that I'm watching a primetime series. One of them is on Walking Dead. Now, I would be offered this for $5, but if I enter the broadcasting in the middle, because it's in my network neighborhood, I could be offered this episode for $2. So it's the same infrastructure for the ISP. The end part is there for the user to do as it is. But it's both profit for me, for the ISP, and for the OTP. So this proposal merges all three together in a common goal. So this concludes my presentation about the future of media as we see through the evolution of P2P, through the evolution of personalization techniques, streaming techniques, and also the evolution of the network. Here are references to the three projects that have inspired my presentation, and I will be happy to answer your questions and also for further discussions. Thank you.
So I would allow for one question. Tarek doesn't make it so far, so this means we gain a little bit of more time. Any immediate burning question? Okay.
So you talked about the content-centric networking. Do you see that being integrated with how CDNs are being deployed today, or do you see it separate from how CDNs are distributing content? Like outline.
Okay, for this I will refer to my last slide about the distribution of the media, because CDNs are deployed especially for the distribution of media to mass large number of people. Now, of course it can work independently. Of course it can provide a solution that can substitute CDNs. And in fact, in such a solution, you also have complete control over the rights, which is very important. You also have control over the versioning. But it can work in parallel with CDNs. What it can do is it can focus, in this case, more on the search, or the searching and the fetching of the content. The CDN can take care of the delivery. as it would, and in fact, if you have a very large number of people that access the same content, CDN at this point could be more efficient. But this would help on the preliminary stages of searching, of publishing the content. So they could go work complementary. Publishing the content, subscribing to the content, accessing the content, and then playing it back over the CDN.
Some more question? Maybe I just add one. You mentioned these 3 projects. Who are the key industry partners in this project in order to ensure that this concepts you are developing in the end make it to the market?
Okay, you're right. As I said, there are 3 projects. So there are many partners. In each of them, selected number of partners has been included so that they make this true. For example, in the My Director, BBC was one of the partners. Atos also is participating. Waze is also participating in Saracen. In Saracen, we have included some social networks and we have included some stakeholders that have contacts with the social networks, such as from UK, CBBC, Canberra, and also in Convergence. Apart from an excellent group of participants, there are also people that are influencing the standards. Several from Leonardo Saviolo is participating. In fact, it was the previous week that in the MPEC Forum meeting, some of the ideas were presented there. Hopefully, we find a way to boost the organization.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting. So once again, thank you, and maybe we have some additional questions to you after the next keynote presentation. So this brings us to the, if you want to connect the laptop, it's here on the other side.